in Salt Lake City, Rice-Eccles Stadium. We've got a hot one for you today. Two top 20 teams, undefeated. Big 12 opener, Texas Tech, the Red Raiders, and the Utes of Utah. Hi, everybody. I'm Gus Johnson, along with my quarterback, Joel Klatt. Welcome to Salt Lake City. We'll start with Utah. Kyle Whittingham is a legend. He's their head coach. Didn't have the kind of season he wanted to last year. Had some quarterback issues. Therefore, he went out off-season, hired a new OC, Jason Beck, coming from New Mexico. Beck brought his quarterback with him. And this young man is a dude. Yeah. Devin, the dude.
I'll tell you, Devin Dampier has changed this program in a lot of ways from last year to this year. Now they play with an immense amount of confidence, as they should. He puts so much pressure on the opposing defense because he's a threat with his legs. His mobility is a problem. He's a great rusher of the football. And to go with their great offensive line, it puts a lot of pressure on that defense for Texas Tech, and their great defensive line. Cannot wait to watch Devin play here today.
As for Texas Tech, they had a good season a year ago, won 8 games, but during the offseason, Joey McGuire had a bag dropped on him. 28 million big ones. Cody Campbell, oil and gas man, former Mike Leach player, offensive lineman, put the money on the table.
That's right.
But their best player, even though they have NFL players up and down the roster now, their best player is Bear. Yeah. It's no longer the air raid, it's the Bear raid.
And Barron is a guy that's been there for 5 years. They didn't have to go out and get Barron Moore, and he's a quarterback that I really love, and I think he's one of the more underrated players in the country. He's really in the mold of a Texas Tech quarterback, a true gunslinger, a la Cliff Kingsbury or Graham Harrell, and he also threatens the defense just in a different way than Devin Dampier. He's got elite arm talent, and he will threaten every blade of grass taking shots down the field. They're going to do it early and often. Watch out. Tech's offense is fireworks.
And speaking of fireworks on the sideline, let's go downstairs to the AAG. The All-American girl, Jenny Tabb.
Well, Gus, I know how much you love talking about all those big guys up front, and yesterday Coach Whittingham told us we may have the best O-line in the country. In fact, this is the best O-line I've ever had at Utah, and I've been here for a very long time. So why are they so good? Well, it starts with the fact that all 5 starters are back. They are led by one of their captains, Spencer Fano, a projected first-round pick, who described this O-line to me with one word: present. Every single day, we're present with practice, with meetings. We understand what this O-line is capable of becoming, and today's goal is to go do it. And Gus, before I send it back to you, this place is so loud I can barely hear myself. I think we're in for a fun one.
Oh, man, it's going to be a great day for football. Perfect weather, 69 degrees. And these two teams haven't met in over 50 years, and they have never met in the state of Utah. Texas Tech has won both all-time meetings against the Utes, 45-2 in Lubbock and 72, 29-22 in Lubbock and 73. And here we go. Stone Harrington sends it away. Rayshon Glover, the deep man. And that will bring out Devin Dampier, the New Mexico transfer.
This guy's electric. He has totally transformed this offense. They're one of the best rushing offenses in the country. And in front of him, Gus, he's got a great offensive line like Jenny was just talking about. And they need to lean on that offensive line. There is a little bit of a question about Devin Dampier's health, his ankle. He's been battling a bit of an ankle injury since last week, against Wyoming. We'll see how healthy he is here early.
First down and 10 at the 25 for the Utes. Wayshawn Parker in the backfield with Dampier. And they'll give it to him on first down, running right. He'll pick up a couple. And that brings up the offense for Utah.
This offensive line has to control the pace and tempo of this game. These 5 up front, led by Spencer Fano on the outside, they've got to be great. And then what we're going to see is a talented group of skill position players, and then guys that aren't even starters, but that we'll see quite a bit, are actually some defensive players like Smith Snowden and Lander Barton. Pay attention when 8 and 2 are on the field.
2nd and 7 at the 28-yard line. And here's a sweep around the left side, and it's Jackson Benny. Not a lot of room. He'll gain 1. Stopped by Gil Howard. And this defensive front. Pretty special for Texas Tech.
That's right. Look at all those transfers. And those two guys on the outside are terrific. Skylar Gill-Howard, probably the alpha of the defense. Jacob Rodriguez, a true Red Raider, a captain at linebacker. And Cole Wisniewski, he transfers in from North Dakota State, where he was an FCS All-American.
3rd down and 6 at the 29. Near side throw caught. Not enough for the first down. Red Raiders jump on him quickly. Ryan Davis gains 4. And that'll bring up a 4th down and 2, and Utah will send it away.
This Texas Tech defense had to be transformed from a year ago, and that's what the bag, Gus, will allow you to do, transform. And they bring in all of these players, and I tell you, they've gelled so well. The defensive line is excellent, one of the better defensive lines in the entire country. And they fly around and they play very hard, and that's the evidence on that first series.
Orion Phillips will punt it away from the 17-yard line. Tristan Gentry, he's the deep man at the 22. This one angled to the far side. Gentry backpedaling. Fair caught at the 15. A 53-yard punt, and that's going to bring on Baron Morton. Man, oh man, has he been putting up, Joel, some gaudy numbers this year.
Woo, and I tell you what, they are unafraid to throw the ball down the field, and a lot of that sentiment comes from the fact that they trust number 2, Baron Morton. He's got a lot of confidence in that arm. He's a true gunslinger, and this is an offense, Gus, that will take shots early. This matchup against a man-to-man style defense, you're going to get bump corners right in the face of the wide receivers, and Tech are going to challenge those guys early.
1st down and 10 at the 15 for Morton. And he decides to run it off 1st down. He'll be lucky to get back to the line of scrimmage. No gain. Jonathan Hall there.
One thing we got to be aware of as well is Tech is going to try to go fast and use tempo here. Tempo along with those shots down the field. That's how they try to threaten the defense.
2nd and 10 of the 15. He'll air it out this time. Morton, far side, caught, but his receiver immediately dropped. Snowden with the tackle. A 5-yard gain and received by Reggie Virgil.
Listen to this place.
18th loudest stadium in college football, according to the USA Today. 3rd down and 5 at the 20. Loudest in the Big 12. Jacoby Williams remains in the backfield with Morton. Some movement up front. Looks like this will go against Tech.
Part of the snap, false start, number 72, offense, 5-yard penalty, 3rd down.
Sheridan Wilson.
They can't hear the clap. Baron Morton claps. Center has no idea.
So 3rd down and 10 at the 15. Opening series for Tech. Empty backfield for the Bear. Morton underneath. Ball caught. Williams breaks it upfield with running room. Still on its feet. Williams bursts its speed. Williams gets a block. No flag. Can he get there? Cuts it inside. Still on the move. At the 11 he goes down. What a run. Jacoby Williams. Johnson with the saving tackle. That's a gain of 73.
Jacoby Williams had 100 yards receiving last week. He's becoming one of the best threats out of the backfield in all of college football as a receiver. And that was a dynamic and explosive run after the catch down the field.
7 catches, 116 yards and a touchdown for Williams. 1st and 10 at the Utah 12. Morton off his back foot. End zone throw incomplete.
I tell you, the fans up here are upset because Tech executed a pick play. Watch, you're going to have the tight end. He's going to come and block the man player that's trying to defend Jacoby Williams. So the question becomes, did he catch that ball behind the line of scrimmage or was he downfield? If he's downfield, then that is a pass interference. But if he did step back, which it looked like he might have stepped back right before catching the ball, then that's a legal play.
2nd down and 10 at the 12-yard line. Morton handing it off. Dickey this time, and he's dropped for a loss. Well defended. Trey Reynolds, the junior from Arizona, a 1-yard loss.
Boy, after the big play, Tech, you got to feel like you got to capitalize, in particular here on this first possession. after Williams put him all the way down there inside the 15. But here, a long yardage situation right in front of the student section, Gus.
3rd down 11, trips at the top of your screen. From the 13, Morton, play fake. Looks, darts, underneath, caught, Dickey, and he'll get a first down at the 1-yard line. Jonathan Hall with the saving tackle. On 3rd and 11, they get 12.
How about Baron Morton manipulating the pocket, buying time, finding the completion for the first down.
Quickly to the line of scrimmage. First down and goal at the 1. Dickey in the backfield. They give it to him straight ahead. Touchdown, Red Raiders. Just like that. Texas Tech gets up and down. 7 plays. 85 yards with the big 73-yard catch and run by Jacoby Williams.
Great push out here on the right side of this offensive line, including that tight end, Terrence Carter. Beautiful block. And Tech goes right down the field on this Utah defense, right in front of this raucous crowd. What a confidence-building drive for Baron Morton and the Red Raiders.
Texas Tech beat Oregon State 45-14 in Lubbock last week. Morton had his second 400-yard game of his... Let's see if he can stay for 20 more years. That's what we talked to him about yesterday. Play the Fox. Dampier. He's from Phoenix, Arizona. Born in Jenny's Hood, Minneapolis, Minnesota. First down and 10 at the 25. Smith Snowden in motion out of the backfield. Dampier goes through his progressions. Underneath, finds his receiver, Ryan Davis. He'll turn it up and gain 7.
Davis is a really reliable guy on the outside and actually came from New Mexico with Dampier and Jason Beck, the offensive coordinator. So certainly a guy that Dampier trusts on the outside.
2nd and 3 at the 32. Here's the delayed handoff. Hunter Andrews, he'll pick up a first down. What's different about this Utah offense with Coach Beck running the show?
Well, this offense is going to use a lot of creative sets, motions, and movements in order to put more players at the run point of attack than other teams generally do. That means more pulling linemen, more pulling tight ends, and even some quarterback run.
Snowden again running left. Cuts it inside, keeps his momentum and goes down at the 40. Picks up 3. Brendan Jordan brings it to the turf.
Last year, they just did not run the ball well. Under 4 yards per carry, Utah was on offense a year ago. But Beck comes in here, they've transformed. Almost 300 rush yards per game, 6 yards per carry. They're going to need a long drive here.
2nd and 7 at the 40-yard line. Dampier scrambling. Just gets it away to Andrews, and no gain on the play. He may have lost a yard. Jordan again defensively, the junior from Mansfield, Texas.
Well, this is where these defensive ends can go to work. 3rd and obvious, an obvious passing situation. David Bailey, number 31. Romello Height, number 9. These guys can get after it. They are excellent players. A lot of scouts on the field pregame marveling at these guys on the outside. And I tell you what, Gus, they're good looking. They play hard. And they can get after the pass.
They certainly passed the eye test. 3rd and 7 at the 40. Dampier, he wants to run and looking for the first down, and he will not get it. About a yard and a half short of the first down on 3rd and 7. He gets 6. Jacob Rodriguez with the tackle.
I'll tell you what, you got the best offensive line that Whittingham has seen since he's been here, so he's going to put more of them on the field. So here we go, a 6th offensive lineman into the game. Keith Olson, number 74, along with a defensive lineman. They're going big up front here. That's Tulonga, a true freshman, number 99, also in the game at fullback.
4th down and 1 at the 46. Rogers in the backfield. And a timeout called by Tech. 3 and 3 on 4th down conversions. Last year, 9 of 20.
Well, this is how they have executed short yardage the entire season. They put in this big package, extra offensive lineman, the extra defensive lineman in at fullback, Tulonga, and they go straight ahead.
Dampier hands it off, second man through. I don't know. Utah says they have it. Rogers, the running back, Texas Tech says no. They don't have it.
I tell you, that's very close. He had to get to the 47-yard line. That's where the sticks are at. Basically needed to get to that second U, and here you see the contact. They try to take his legs, and then he spins and tries to reach that football forward, and they will say that he did not get it. Utah has used this set and that exact play in almost every single short yardage possession that they've had all year long, and they went right back to the well. Texas Tech was absolutely ready for that. That reach right there, I'm sure they'll take an extra look at this. It's just a matter of the spot. They will bring the sticks out here for an official measurement.
And he didn't get it. Utah turns the ball over on downs. Folks, they got dogs up front for Tech. Bailey, Hunter, Gil Howard, Height, ball players, NFL players.
They're showing the replay right now on the screen, and you can see Rogers at the end when he's reaching the ball forward. I think that they've got a bit of a case here to be had. I'm wondering if this is going to get stopped and looked at in replay. I'm sure it will. The spot on the field, I feel like, is short of what we just saw in video. I can't believe they're letting them play. That is a poor spot right there.
So here come the Red Raiders now.
False start, number 76. Offense, 5-yard penalty. Still first down.
Tech trying to get that play off as quickly as possible.
Yeah, I'm really surprised they didn't take a further look at that. The Big 12 is usually really replay heavy anyways, and not to look at that, I think, is a mistake. However, Utah's got to react. Sudden change back on the field here at the 50.
First down and long now at the 15. First down and 15 at the 48. Near side throw. Carter. And he'll get over the line of scrimmage. Dropped quickly by Jonathan Hall.
Well, this Utah team now has had a couple of chances on third down to get off the field, but it's been the lack of pressure on Baron Morton. They can't get to him yet.
Second and 14 at the 49. Morton drops it off in the flats. Dickey hits his sideline with some speed. Dragged down at the 40. Great defense. Logan Fano just tracked him down.
That is a defensive end out in space against a running back and is able to run him down, force this third down. They tried to bring pressure there, trying to get players in the face of Baron Morton. They just can't get to him. He's too good in the pocket.
Third and 4 at the 41. Trips at the bottom of your screen. Morton pulls it out. Wants to run it and is gobbled up immediately. Lealele.
Well, this is a great job by the linebacker, Jonathan Hall. Watch as he's going to get to the outside, and that's where Morton realizes, okay, I've got to turn back in, and that's where all the pursuit from the defense is coming. Leea is right there for the stop.
Fourth down and 9. And Tech will punt it away at the 41-yard line. Glover is the deep man. End over end kick. And fair caught at the 11. Flag on the play, though.
Kick catch interference, number 4. Kicking team, 15-yard penalty at the end of the punt. First down.
This is their third possession. Just one first down so far. And a flag.
Illegal substitution, 12 players in formation. Offense, 5-yard penalty. First down.
Coming out of timeout.
They had their big defensive lineman on the field, Simi Tulonga, number 99, and then he jogs off, and that clearly does not make Kyle Whittingham happy, especially coming out of a break like that.
First down and 15 at the 21. Wayshawn Parker motions out of the backfield. Now they'll give it to Parker on the reverse, and he'll get upfield. Nice run gains 5, stopped by Rodriguez.
I'm really impressed with this defense so far. If you're going to build a defense that's going to be stout against the run, it would be these types of guys. Lee Hunter in the middle, Skylar Gil Howard in the middle, and then you've got also a preseason Big 12 Defensive Player of the Year in Jacob Rodriguez at linebacker.
2nd and 10 at the 26. Dampier near side. Nice throw. Good catch. Davis will get another 5.
These third downs are just so massive for Utah to try to stay on the field. And Tech has been winning this down so far here in the first quarter. The one thing you've got to be aware of if you're the Tech defense is Dampier's ability to run the football here on third down.
3rd and 5 at the 31. Dampier sprints out of the pocket, throws, got a man, caught, Benny, touchdown, Utah. What a throw, what a catch, but a flag. If it stands, 69 yards.
This one's coming back. Spencer Fano, the right tackle, was downfield. You're allowed 3 yards. He's past the 3-yard mark.
Downfield, number 55. Offense, 5-yard penalty. Replay. 3rd down.
What a catch. Off or not, Jackson Benny, sophomore from Utah.
Gus, that is a mental mistake from Fano because that's a pass play. They were half rolling the pocket in order to throw the ball on 3rd down. I have no idea why he was extending himself down the field in order to block a linebacker. That's full pass protection. So a real mental error from the right tackle.
So that makes it 3rd down and 10 at the 26. Dampier guns it again. Knocked down. Well defended. As Simmons was the intended receiver, Jordan knocked it away, but there is a flag.
I think he got there a little early, Gus. Here's the over route, and there's the defense. So right, yeah, you see his arms come around him just soon enough. And anytime you see the defensive back, if this is his reaction right here, hands up. I guess it's no, guys. I'm good. Then the flag should come out just for that. If I'm an official, I'm just like, oh, yeah, there we go.
All right, so Brendan Jordan, junior from Mansfield, Texas, call for the penalty. Moves the chains for the Utes, 1st and 10 at the 41. Here's the option. Old school. Here's the pitch. Parker fumbles it. Almost fumbles it. And he'll still gain 3 yards. You don't see that traditional option often.
No, you don't. And this is a mistake from the quarterback. So if you're the quarterback, Devin Dampier, you've got to attack the in-man on the line of scrimmage, but you don't want to fake and then go back to the pitch. Once you've decided you're going to run the football, you've got to get that football right up the field and gain as many yards as possible. You go back to the pitch like that late, it's going to hit the ground.
2nd down, 7, near side throw, and a 1st down for Utah. And the ball comes out. Texas Tech says they have it, and they do. John Curry jumped on it. Ryan Davis lost it.
What a hit. Ben Roberts knocks it out. Tech defense flexing some serious Red Raider muscle.
Now Texas Tech, 1st down and 10 at the 46. Jacoby Williams in the backfield for Morton. Underneath, incomplete. That ball intended for Reggie Virgil.
Well, the coverage has held up decently for Utah, but what they haven't been able to do is get to Baron Morton. And Texas Tech has been very opportunistic. 130 points off takeaways since 2024. 3rd most in college football. They get the takeaway now. They desperately want to capitalize.
2nd and 10 at the 46. Morton with time. Near side, back shoulder. Intercepted. Johnson Johnson plucked it out of the air, but was he in bounds? That's a question.
They're trying to attack Blake Cotton here, number 16. And watches that ball, hits him right in the back. And there's Johnson, secured knee down, certainly in bounds, and he's headed the other direction. Utah's defense answers turnover for turnover right here. Cotton, nice play, no contact before the ball arrives, and then Johnson's able to get that knee down before sliding onto the white paint.
So turnovers for each team now. 1st and 10 at the 30. Dampier with a hitch to Snowden. Breaks the tackle. And Snowden with some yak. He'll gain 6.
I'll tell you, both of these defenses answering the bell. The 4th down failed for Utah. Defense gets the ball back. Then Red Raiders force a turnover. Beautiful job punching it out. Utah gets the ball right back. Defensive game here so far.
2nd down and 4 at the 36-yard line. Another hitch near side. And another cool spin by Smith-Snowden. He gets it upfield. Wrapped up by Rodriguez.
Did you see Rodriguez flying over there like a Black Hawk helicopter?
That's right.
His wife flies, I should say. I mean, he was motoring out there to the outside. The physical takedown and forcing 3rd down.
His wife, Emma, is a helicopter pilot. She went to West Point. 3rd down and 2 at the 38. Dampier runs it himself, looking for the first, and he has it. Devin Ledoux gains 4. Wisniewski the tackle.
Well, here you go. You're going to get a motion man to try to get the eyes of the defense going this way and then bring the quarterback back with a lead blocker. And he just knifes it inside. Right there, Wisniewski just oversets a little bit. And he's able to get inside and move the sticks.
Makes it 1st down and 10 at the 42-yard line for Utah. Here's Dampier following in his blocks. Has a lane. And he's collared and taken down short of midfield by John Curry after a 7-yard gain.
Well, there was some question about Dampier's health going into this game. An ankle injury from last week against Wyoming, but he looks pretty good so far, Gus. Maybe not 100%, but certainly effective enough right here on back-to-back runs. And right there, a nice gain on 1st down, bringing up a 2nd and short.
Dampier, first year at Utah after 2 at New Mexico, where he was the first Lobo quarterback ever named All Mountain West first team. Here's a handoff straight ahead. Parker looking for that 1st down, lost it. Texas, they have the football, and they do again.
They punched it out again.
2nd turnover of the 1st quarter for Utah.
This is a carbon copy, except this time it's Rodriguez. Look at him punch the ball out. Joey McGuire told Jenny Taft earlier today he sent a video about punching the ball out to his team earlier today, and now that's back-to-back series. Ben Roberts, 13, punches it out. Jacob Rodriguez punches it out. McGuire told us that Rodriguez is the best he's ever been around in attacking the ball while tackling, and that's evidence right there with another turnover.
So Tech forcing the 2nd turnover of the 1st quarter. 1st down at the 47. Morton, play fake. Morton. He got decked loose, and Tech falls on the football. John Henry Daly, heat in the kitchen. A loss of 16.
I tell you, the pass rush is showing up right here. So on the outside, John Henry Daly, he's already got 5 sacks this year. Look at the motor on this guy. Blocked initially on the outside by Howard Sampson, but then just keeps going and finally gets to Baron Morton. Ball comes loose, and now Tech way behind the chains.
Henry Daly, BYU transfer. He's from Alpine, Utah. 2nd down and 26. Morton with pressure, gets it away, but gets nothing. Williams the catch, but Teo Johnson drops him for a loss of 2. And that should take us to the end of the first quarter.
Ooh, and we got some defenses playing today, folks.
Wake up, folks. 10 a.m. kick. Here is Salt Lake.
Huge plays defensively. How do you find a rhythm here to settle into this?
Yeah, we have to find a rhythm offensively. We're not doing much of anything. To be down 7-0 is a blessing right now. After 2 turnovers, missing a 4th and short. Defense is keeping us in this. Offense will get it going, though. We're good offense. Devin's a heck of a football player. We'll find a rhythm.
Thank you, Coach.
Yeah.
Kyle Whittingham, stud. He came into our meeting yesterday. He had just worked out, dripping with sweat, buffed up. 3rd and 28. Tech runs Williams. Conservative play call there. He's brought down after a gain of 12 by Benny.
You know what I appreciate about Kyle?
What's that?
When he comes in, so he's a big Peloton guy. And he knows that I ride the Peloton as well. And he comes in and immediately just stares me down and he's like, I kicked your butt today. I'm like, yes, you did, Coach.
Well, you know,
yes,
you have to be
did.
courageous to ride a Peloton. That's a very, very tough and beautiful machine. Raiders send it away. Burgess, Glover back deep. And he has it. Bobbles it, but has it at the 15 to 45-yard punt. A full day of college football on Fox continues next as Bill Belichick leads North Carolina against UCF. Then at 7:30 Eastern, Arizona State takes on Baylor, followed by a Big Ten battle between Michigan State and SC. All right here on Fox. How you like SC this year?
I tell you what, they're quietly, I know they're ranked now, but they're quietly having a really good year. And this is a team that resembles more of Lincoln Riley's old Oklahoma teams with the ability to run the football.
First down and 10 at the 14-yard line. Dampier in the pocket, guns it, caught. Maybe a first down. Great catch as Merriweather just lays out and brings it in.
Tell you what, Tobias Merriweather, he needed all of his 6'5" frame here. Look at this. He's extended fully, and he's able to get his hands under the ball and secure that catch.
That's a first down. Merriweather from West Camas, Washington, Cal transfer.
Play of a completed pass for a first down is under review.
So they'll take another look at this.
Looks like the tip of the ball did touch the ground, Joel, I believe.
Yeah, so what they're going to look for initially is control. So does he have control, and then does he have control through the process of the ball hitting the ground? The ball can touch the ground. That's not a problem. But it's did it rattle in his hands? Does he lose firm control? So control. Does he lose control? It's tough to tell. I would say probably not.
And we bring in our rules analyst, Mikey Rulebooks, Mike Pereira. Your thoughts on this?
Joel, I would say he probably does. And it kind of leads us into that whole probable conversation. Is there anything clear and obvious that you could change it? To me, you know, you watch the hands, they're moving a bit, and then the ball turns a little bit when it hits the ground. Did he use the ground to complete the catch? A lot of questions. If it's me, I'd probably leave it the way it is.
So, Mike, you say it's a catch. Joel, you say it's an incompletion?
No, I would say catch.
Okay. I'm going to go
with... What about you? What are you going with?
I'm going to go with an incompletion.
You want to bet $1?
Bet.
All right.
$1. Action. Love it.
Drama.
You want to get into this, Mike Pereira?
Well, Mike said catch.
I'm not. You guys make more money than I do. No, I'm going to stay out of this.
Here we go.
After review, the receiver does not make firm possession of the ball and survive the down. Incomplete pass. And second down.
Oh, no. I'm about to send my kids to Harvard on you guys.
With your $1.
That's 1-0, Gus. Week 3 or 4.
Man, I tell you, I thought that the bottom hand didn't move. What if I said I don't agree?
So an incomplete pass. And that's the first incompletion for Dampier. Here's the run. And he'll pick up 2. Wisniewski with the tackle.
Well, they've been able to throw the ball on the outside a couple of times. Now you wonder if they'll go back to that. And then the way that they try to throw the football primarily is a little half roll so that Dampier's not just sitting in the pocket. Remember, he's only 5'11".
3rd down and 8 at the 16. Dampier drops it off near side. Snowden looking for some blockers, and he won't get them. They're just jumping on him. Gil Howard, all 6'1", 290. He transferred from Northern Illinois. He's from the Cream City, Milwaukee. A loss of 3.
I'll tell you, Skylar Gil Howard is playing such good football on film and now here today. And they've said even as a transfer coming in this year, he's the alpha of the team. He's the most vocal leader, the most gregarious guy, and he is playing outstanding football.
Orion Phillips punting out of his own end zone. Gentry, the deep man, lets it take a bounce in front of him. And it'll go down at around the 46. Texas Tech will have terrific field position to start this drive.
And they're shutting out the Utes here so far through a quarter.
1st down at the 46 for the Red Raiders. Morton with the pitch. Flag on the play. Jacoby Williams, they string that one out. Would be a loss of 1, but let's see what the flag is. As Lander Barton, Nate Ritchie ushers him out of bounds.
Illegal motion, number 9. Offense, 5-yard penalty. Still 1st down.
John Carlos Miller.
He's a big tight end that was motioning down from the end right here, and then he was going to try to go in and chop down the end man on the line of scrimmage, John Henry Daly, but he started moving toward the line of scrimmage before the snap.
So that makes it 2nd down and 11 from the 45. Straight ahead, Williams. Oh, big opening. And he'll get the 1st down. Between the tackles running, Nate Ritchie finally with the tackle.
I'll tell you what, this is a great cutback lane. Check out this hole that the offensive line is able to provide for him. Great down block, good block by the tight end, Miller. Beautiful hole.
That's a gain of 11. 1st down, Morton looking, in trouble, backs it up. On the move, hits his man on the far side. That's Coy Aiken. And Aiken tippy-toes down the sideline and picks up 14 yards. Aiken has been having a terrific season.
He sure has, and there he acts as an outlet as John Henry Daly couldn't get Baron Morton down.
On 1st down, sidearm throw, far side, caught Caleb Douglas.
In this area of the field, you really got to be aware of that screen game on the outside for Texas Tech. And in particular, Jacoby Williams, number 20 out of the backfield. He's an excellent receiver. Gus, we already saw him have that huge completion on the 3rd down on the 1st series. And you've got to pay attention to him here inside the 30.
2nd and 5 at the 25. Morton will throw it. Sideline throw. Intercepted in the end zone. Jackson Benny. Another turnover. He takes it away from Coy Aiken. Wow. So 1st down and 10 at the 20. Let's see if Utah can figure out how to move the ball. Dampier fakes the toss. And he'll gain a yard. Not a lot. As Skylar Gil Howard comes up with the tackle. But look at these D linemen, Joel. Romello Height played at Georgia Tech, USC, and Auburn. Gil Howard at Northern Illinois. Lee Hunter at UCF and Auburn. David Bailey at Stanford. Got 4-barrel shotgun up there.
That's right. And they play aggressive, and they are very good. You know, the transfer portal is about transformation and opportunity. You can transform your roster, and the players get the opportunity to showcase their talents, and that's certainly what's happening here.
2nd down and 9 at the 21. Dampier running it straight ahead. Gain a couple. Brendan Jordan there.
There's a look at our reliable performer, sponsored by AT&T Business. Reliability you can count on, and certainly Jacob Rodriguez is a guy you can count on. He forced that fumble on the last series. He's in on that last tackle. 2025 this season, the preseason Defensive Player of the Year in the Big 12, and he is certainly a leader and a captain for this team.
3rd down and 7 to the 23. Dampier throwing up the sideline. Is that a catch? Yes, it is. Wonderfully done. Dallin Bentley, the tight end.
Hey, how about the touch on that pass? That looked like a three-pointer, like a Steph Curry. He had to get it up and over Romello Height, who was dropping into coverage. And did Bentley get that full foot in bounds? Boy, that was awfully close. Controls the ball. That foot's got to stay in. Boy, it does look like it was in. What a catch. But even better, the touch on that pass, Gus. That was beautiful.
So they're going to review it.
All right, chance to get my $1 back. Here we go.
No, I mean,
No, come on.
You know, that's a catch.
That's a catch.
Well, I talked to Bear about this yesterday. For an obvious catch, what did he say? He said 3-to-1 odds. So you got to pay $3 to make $1.
All right, I'll put up 3 to your 1.
But I'm not taking the bet.
That's a catch.
Yeah, it's a catch.
So does he control it? Then okay, so there's control, foot down, and then does he control it going through the ground? Yeah, that's a catch.
I like this game. Mike Pereira, your thoughts?
I agree, and I'd like my $1 back too. I don't need to describe the process anymore. Joel had it all the way. Control, a foot,
ruling on the field is upheld. 1st down.
All right, Utah's longest play of the day.
Do you see that touch he put on
yes,
that ball?
Feathery touch for Devin Dampier.
You know who used to have the high arcer like that? Remember Jim Jackson used to shoot it high like that. Jimmy, I know you work with Jimmy.
That's right.
He's our guy, man. Jim Jackson is the coolest dude I know.
No doubt about it. 1st down and 10 at the 37. Here's a handoff. Rodgers. And Rodgers gains 5. Gil Howard again. So the big matchup coming into this game was the Utah offensive line versus the Texas Tech defensive line.
Well, and so far it's kind of a stalemate because it's really been just a tale of mistakes and turnovers on the outside from the skill position players. These linebackers, each of them, Ben Roberts and Jacob Rodriguez, have played so well, each of them with a forced fumble today.
2nd down and 5. Dampier steps into his throw. Down the sideline, incomplete. And this time it's Jackson Benny. He'll play DB, he'll play wide receiver. 3 guys on this team go both ways.
Bryce Pollock, in coverage transfer from Mississippi State. Really good length. He's 6 foot, 195 pounds. Crowd thought that he got away with some contact right here. Hand up on the shoulder of Jackson Benny, but then it starts to come off, and I don't think the official ever really saw that contact. And to be honest, I don't know if he's hindering his ability to go make that catch.
3rd down and 5 at the 42. Big play here. Here's Dampier over the middle. Coffers down. Utes. Ryan Davis found a soft spot on 3rd and 5. He gains 10.
I tell you, this is not a big window to throw the football across the middle, and Dampier is almost fading away and turns back and just delivers a dart. Ryan Davis on time and on target. I tell you, right when he turned his head, he released that ball because he trusts his former teammate from New Mexico to be on time, and he was.
Under 8 to go, 2nd quarter. 1st and 10 to the 49. Dampier sprints out of the pocket. Drops it off short. Nothing doing this time. Great pursuit as Landon Barton makes the tackle, and he's dropped immediately. This time it's Terrell Tillman.
This defense is deep and they're aggressive. I've been impressed so far, Gus. I tell you, they are flying around. They are physical. They are attacking the football. They're making life difficult on Utah, but Utah is putting together their best offensive series so far of the day.
2nd and 12 at the 49. Play fake. Dampier steps up in the pocket, throws it down down the field, incomplete. A little too much on that one, as Tobias Merriweather had a step.
I'll tell you, aggressive from this Utah offense. And here they have a bit of a double move, and in and then up. And both those Utah Utes kind of in the same area. You never want to see that, but overthrown nonetheless.
3rd down and 12 of the 49. Utah 3 of 6 on 3rd down conversions in this game so far. Dampier runs it and will not have enough for the 1st down, as David Bailey drags him down. A 6-yard gain brings up 4th down, so a decision must be made by Coach Witt.
I tell you, with the way that the defense is playing, I think he's going to send his kicking unit on the field, and that's exactly what's going to happen. Nice stop there for Texas Tech. Dampier was trying to get, I'm sure he was trying to get within like 4th and 3. They would have thought about it, probably gone for it, but at 4th and 6, they're going to try to punt it away and pin Tech back inside their own 10.
Orion Phillips at the 40. And fair caught on the sideline.
The confidence level of Baron Morton, we came in singing his praises. He's only thrown the ball twice down the field, both of them picked off.
1st down and 10. Here's a handoff. Dickey, what, and Hole. He'll pick up a 1st down. Ritchie with the tackle. Let's go downstairs. Wait a minute. Morton getting up slowly.
Tell you, he got absolutely rocked.
Henry Daly crushed him.
Right when he's in there at the handoff point. And again, as a defensive player, if you're responsible for the quarterback in this day and age of RPO run pass option, he goes for the quarterback. Big gain on the run, but Morton just getting flattened in the background, and he'll come out for a play.
That'll bring on Will Hammond, backup quarterback. Hammond, 6'2", 205 from Austin, Texas. He was 3 of 5 for 2 yards and an interception last week in mop-up duty against Oregon State.
You got to think this is a run, so I would likely send pressure here.
Cameron Dickey. Stopped by Ritchie. Let's see if Baron Morton comes back in.
So yeah, look at all these guys up near the line of scrimmage. They know it's a run, and now Tech is going to keep Hammond on the field. They're going to go quickly here.
2nd and 9. Another handoff. Dickey again. Jonathan Hall with the tackle after a gain of 6. Will Hammond started the 2024 Liberty Bowl against Arkansas. Went 20 of 34 for 280. Now Morton back in. Good sign for the Raiders. 3rd down and 3 at the 39. Morton. Underneath, caught, and a 1st down. Great blocking up front is Carter with the reception by this offensive line for Texas Tech.
And I love how he just floats back in the pocket. Look at him by himself a little bit of time. Great job up front by the offensive line, and then good hands by Terrence Carter. Contested catch in traffic, and he's able to secure it for a 1st down.
4:40 and counting remaining in the 1st half. 7-0 Texas Tech. 1st down at the 43. Morton, slant, incomplete. That ball intended for Caleb Douglas. Now let's go downstairs and check in with JT.
Well, guys, it did take a second for Baron Morton there, obviously on the sideline. He put his headband back on, put his helmet on. He told his guys, I'm good to go. He ran back out. It's a good sign as well that Terrence Carter Jr. back in the game. He'd been dealing with a left shoulder injury. Let's see if those two can find a connection here.
2nd and 10 of the 43. Dickey in the game at running back.
Prior to the snap, false start, number 76. Offense, 5-yard penalty, 2nd down.
That's the left guard, Will Jados.
Trying to use the double clap. So Morton's going to use 2 claps here. And the left guard, it was just one. I tell you, the crowd noise right now is wreaking havoc with this offensive line.
2nd and 15 at the 38. Jacoby Williams checks back in at running back. Morton fires it deep. Incomplete. Reggie Virgil, the target. And Morton looks like he's still hurting.
Yeah, he is not right now. So even though he came back in the ball game after that hit earlier this series, he has been wincing in pain. There he tries to throw the ball down the field. Something is going on. You wonder in that midsection area, how accurate can he throw the ball down the field on a long 3rd down?
3rd down and 15 at the 38. Virgil in motion. Morton steps up in the pocket. Wants to run it. Has a lane. Got to get down. Does it. And he is knocked down hard by Blake Cotton. A gain of 12 on 3rd and 15.
Well, he had a lane here, but boy, if you're a Red Raider fan, you just wince. He's already in some pain, and then he decides to lower his head and shoulder trying to get that 1st down.
Jack Burgess will punt it away at the 35. Rayshon Glover back deep in his own 10. Glover to the sideline, lets it go over his head. Oh, with English. Jack Burgess drew that ball back. 32-yard punt. Well done.
Out on the field, and they've been terrific so far.
Dampier drops it off in the flats. And it's Hunter Andrews. Jordan with the tackle after a 2-yard gain.
I'll tell you, Sheil Wood, the defensive coordinator for these Texas Tech Red Raiders, he came over from Houston, and he has infused an attacking style of defense and a physical play. They're sound, they line up well, and then they fly around and hit.
They're down and 8 at the 19. Delayed handoff. Rogers. Texas Tech ready for it. Maybe a yard.
And you know what he was telling us yesterday, Sheil Wood, is he feels like this was going to be an academy-style game because of all the different run game that you get from Utah. Quarterback run, option, everything, that it was going to be like facing an academy. Well, he's got history at an academy. He coached at Army. He understands what it is to play one of these games, and his defense is playing accordingly.
They're down at 6 at the 21. Dampier in trouble. Dampier's got to get it away. Reverses, uses his feline quickness. Dampier sets. Threw it into double coverage, and is picked off. Wow, Bryce Pollock. Another turnover. That's 5 in the first half between the two teams. 3 by Utah.
And this one just ill-advised. He cannot make this throw. Did a beautiful job getting himself outside the pocket, but then just kind of heaves the ball down the field. Never saw the safety. Bryce Pollock has been outstanding so far today. Again, transferred in from Mississippi State. Last year he had 72 tackles, 10 pass breakups in Starkville, and he came in and he is playing really great football, and there gets the turnover. And this Utah offense, they cannot find themselves so far, and I got to give the Tech defense a lot of credit. They're putting pressure on that offense. Dampier is not comfortable, and they're creating turnovers.
First down at the 47. Williams straight ahead, and that should take us to the 2-minute timeout. Jonathan Hall with the tackle after the 2-yard gain. 2 minutes remaining in the first half. Good in the bright lights.
Always.
Bright lights, Brady. So here we go. 2nd down and 8 at the 49. The handoff to Williams. And he'll churn his way forward. Nate Ritchie There to bring him down after a 5-yard gain.
This is a huge moment in this game. Now, inside of 2 minutes here in the second quarter, Texas Tech is going to get the ball to start the second half. So a chance to double up here if they can put together a drive.
And some movement up front.
False start, number 72. Offense. 5-yard penalty, still third down.
That's Sheridan Wilson, the center.
That's their fourth on the day. This crowd making this difficult, and that is a big one there because it goes from an opportunity to run the football still on third down to now backed up, and you're likely going to have to throw this one. Morton from the pocket. We'll see if the Utah pass rush can finally activate. Haven't seen them get much pressure yet today.
3rd down and 8 at the 49. Morton. Caught. 1st down and more by Caleb Douglas. Man, he came out of his break quickly, and he gains 13.
And again, time to throw in the pocket for Morton. Nice ball in rhythm for the 1st down.
1st down at the 39. Tech with 2 timeouts left. Morton. Heaves it. Beautiful catch inside the 10 by Caleb Williams. Back shoulder.
I tell you, Caleb Douglas at 6'4" is making life difficult. There is a flag in the backfield, and everyone trending backwards as if this one's going to come back for a hold.
Holding number 79. Offense. 10-yard penalty from the previous spot. Replay first down.
That's Howard Sampson, the left tackle.
And he's going against John Henry Daly again. Already 5 sacks. He's the one that hit Morton earlier in this quarter. And yeah, a clear hold there. Terms him, prevents them. There's no way he gets that off. If he doesn't hold him, that's the 7th penalty now for Tech.
1st and 20 at the 49. Morton looking. Underneath. Oh, man, that one almost picked off. Nate Ritchie in on the play.
I tell you, the guy that is open on the checkdowns and has the best matchup is Jacoby Williams. He's trying to force this ball over to Terrence Carter, but the linebacker is all over it there. Nate Ritchie, the strong safety. Jacoby Williams is the guy that has to touch the ball here. Watch him on a screen.
2nd and 20 at the 49. They fire it out wide. This time it's Aiken. And Aiken dropped for a loss. Once again, Jackson Benny. Johnny on the spot. All right, 1:03 to go. Utah called that timeout. Both teams with 2 remaining. 3rd down and 22 for Tech. At the 49.
Gus, I would spread everybody out like they're doing right here. Look at these splits. Wide receivers way below the numbers on each side and afford the running back some sort of one-on-one opportunity.
3rd down and 22. Underneath. This ball is caught with extra running room. Terrence Carter Jr. He'll go down at the 40. Smith Stone with the tackle, but it's an 11-yard gain. And the Tech offense walking off the field.
Has called their 2nd charge timeout.
Actually a timeout call. Junior from Coffeyville, Texas. On the season, he's 2 for 2 with the long of 47 yards. Kicked that 47-yarder against Kent State in week 2. This one, folks, from 58 yards away.
I don't think he's got the leg. Utah should have somebody back under the goalposts. There's a good likelihood that this is short.
Good snap, clean hold. Take that, Joel Klatt.
Wow, what a kick. How about that? Whoa. Harrington's long was 47, like you said. They bring screen pass. Big points. Remember, they're going to get the ball to start the second half.
And this one out of the end zone. Joy McGuire, I tell you, had a chance to sit down with him yesterday. One thing I noticed about him, the feeling that I got was, this man has charm. He knows how to talk to you.
He's a CEO, as he says.
Well, he's been a head coach for a long time. You know, I know it hasn't been a long time at the college level, but let's remember, you know, he had a lot of experience as a coach and a head coach in the high school level in the state of Texas. And then he went to the college level. He was an assistant for Art Briles. He was an assistant for, Matt Rule at Baylor, and then Dave Aranda before being a Tech. So,
sideline throw for Dampier.
What I loved about him is that he understood his strength. He was very blunt with us. He said, listen, I know what I'm great at, and I know what I need to be doing, and that is to be the CEO, have the pulse of the team, and he certainly has that. And that's one of the big reasons why going out and getting these two coordinators, Mac Leftwich on offense, Sheil Wood on defense, was so important.
2nd down and 4, Dampier. Near side, caught for first down. Brian Davis with the tackle. .38 seconds and counting. Dampier again trying to move this football. Short throw out of bounds. And it's Bentley. Dallin Bentley, the senior. Snow College transfer.
Well, as they're trying to get into field goal range, Dylan Curtis is their kicker. He's a true freshman, had a rough game last week. Missed 3 field goals.
2nd and 5 at the 42. Had one block. Dampier hit as he throws. Nobody home. Flag on the play.
It looked like they were trying to get Tobias Merriweather on a double move, and it looked like he was kind of tackled and held up as he was getting down the field right here. Yeah, that's pretty clear. Dante Balfour.
Pass interference, number 20. Defense, spot foul, automatic first down.
So that brings up a first down for the Utes. 25 seconds remaining in the first half. Utah with 1 timeout left from the 44 of Tech. Dampier underneath, caught. This time Davis with some nice yards after the catch for first down. 12-yard pickup.
Well, and the first down, more importantly, so the clock stops until they can set the chains, and now they can get another snap off.
Remember Dylan Curtis, as you mentioned, last week against Wyoming, 1 of 4. Dampier incomplete.
Well, he's a true freshman, Dylan Curtis.
He's got a leg.
He does. He hit a 54-yarder in week 1 against UCLA. Held the Utah State record with a 63-yarder in high school. But last week, off the upright, they missed that one. This one was blocked. So some trouble on the special teams last week.
2nd and 10 at the 32. And Dampier sideline trying to get as much as he can. Out of bounds goes Bentley. 4 seconds left.
Well, now you got to kick it here. Yeah, because this would be the last snap with 4 seconds. You're not going to get another one after that. So a nice, efficient drive there from Dampier, wasn't it? Getting the ball down, helped out by that penalty, and now Dylan Curtis.
This time from 46 yards away. He's got a big leg. And a timeout.
A very highly rated kicker coming out of high school. Top 10 kicker recruit by 247. Local kid from right here in the Salt Lake area. Murray High School, about 20-minute drive from Rice Eccles. So familiar with that altitude you were speaking of earlier.
Orion Phillips, his holder. Logan Castor, the long snapper, from 46 yards away. Dylan Curtis. Whoa, and he just pushed this one wide right. But there is a flag. He'll hope to get another shot at it. Looks like he will.
Personal foul, roughing the kicker, number 14, defense. That penalty will be enforced 15 yards and will play 1 untimed down.
If you take out the plant leg of the kicker, you're going to get the roughing call. And so he took away all the ground under him, and Pollock knows it. That's why the flag comes out, and it gives him a free lease on life here, plus the 15.
Bryce Pollock.
Goal line. Still first down.
So instead of a 48-yard kick, this one will be from 31 yards away. Should be a chip shot for Dylan Curtis. Got to get his confidence back after a tough one last week. This time it's pure. Utah's on the board. And that's the end of the first half. 10-3. 7-point game at the end of as this game progresses, but he did come back onto the field and finish the first half after missing a couple of plays. Start of the second half here in Salt Lake City. And here we go. This one kicked out of the end zone for a touchback. Let's go downstairs to the AAG.
Gus, there was a lot of penalty talk, as expected, from both coaches with different messages. I do want to address Texas Tech's quarterback, Baron Morton. Obviously, he is good to go. That's what Coach McGuire was telling me. He said he is tough. He's a competitor. I am not worried about him. The big issue for us right now, the penalties killed us. We need to do a better job communicating. We're off rhythm, and we need to finish those drives. As for Coach Whittingham, he said those 3 points, yes, good to get them going in. We worked the clock better, but our offensive line, this is a group he's so proud of. They have to do a better job controlling the line of scrimmage and step up.
All right, Jenny, first down at the 25, and guess who? One of my favorite players, Jackson Benny, again. I'm feeling a little Travis Hunter action going on here. He can do it on both sides.
I'll tell you, he's been
flag on the play.
He's been really good in coverage. He had that pick. The touchdown reception called back. He would have the biggest play on each side of the field.
That man looks like he made
face mask, number 3. Offense, half the distance to the goal. Still first down.
That's Coy Aiken.
Boy, it just kind of grazed the face mask of the defensive end. So here's Aiken, number 3. And that hand just up in the face of Nate Ritchie, the strong safety.
So that'll back up Texas Tech. First down and long, Morton.
That's another false start. That's their 5th false start.
Prior to snap, false start, number 70. Offense, 5-yard penalty, still first down.
Jacob Ponton, the right tackle, here he is. He starts hitting his helmet afterwards. He can't hear anything. Look, he's looking back. He's like, what's going on? We snapping it? Crowd noise has been unbelievable here in Salt Lake City.
First down and 27. Remember, this is the loudest stadium in the Big 12, 18th loudest stadium in the country, according to the USA Today. Conservative call, Dickey, and he'll be tackled for a loss. Wow. Ritchie leading the way. Loss of 1.
Well, now you got to think about not turning it over. What matchup do you like? You can't force the ball if you're Baron Morton. Maybe try to get half of this back on this snap.
Second down and 28. Morton in trouble. Wants to run it. Needs to get down. And does. And he gets leveled. Whoa. Flag on the play. Morton is hurt. Jonathan Hall. And this may be a targeting call.
Here's the tail end of the play. Morton, as a runner, doesn't get defenseless protection. So it would the only way to call a targeting on this is if you deem that Jonathan Hall made forcible contact with the crown of his helmet. Because again, Gus, Morton as a runner doesn't get defenseless protection, so that contact to his head does not matter. Oh my goodness.
Why wouldn't he slide, Joe?
I don't know.
Defense, previous play is under review.
And this will obviously go to review. So there's two different ways targeting can be applied against a defenseless player, whereas any forcible contact to the head or neck of a defenseless player would be targeting.
I don't think this is targeting, Joe.
Well, and then there's this, which is a runner, and he does not get the defenseless protection. So it would only be applied if Jonathan Hall, number 7, was using the crown of his helmet. That's the Big 12 replay center where they are looking at this play. And to your point, partner, the contact that Hall makes is not really with his crown, it's with his right shoulder.
Mike Pereira, you're with us. What do you think here?
Yeah, I don't like it as targeting. For one thing, and Joel's described the defenseless player versus runner, you've got to initiate contact.
After review, there is no foul for targeting.
And the reason there's no foul in my mind on this is because he's just bracing for the contact. He's not initiating, he's not launching, he's not crouching and driving upwards. He just braced, feet are side to side. Certainly a good call, I think, to make sure that there's not targeting on this play.
But with that in mind, Baron Morton goes out of the game. Will Hammond back in. 3rd down and 18. Looks like Tech will probably just hand this one off.
I don't understand why they're still trying to use the clap to snap the football.
False start, number 56. Offense, 5-yard penalty.
You cannot use an audible cadence. A clap is an audible thing. They can't hear. Baron Morton now walking to the locker room and things unraveling for Tech. Their 7th false start. This has to be a silent cadence. You tell the guard, I'm ready for the ball. He signals to the center, we're ready to snap it. Going on the clap, they're going to continue to have false starts.
3rd and 23. Hammond just runs it, and he is lucky to get back to the line of scrimmage. Vimahi with the tackle, and they say that's a loss of 1.
Well, more of the same here from this Utah defense. They've been stifling since that opening drive. John Henry Daly has been excellent, helped out by that penalty. Here's that last play. Looked like he tripped him. That probably should have been called a tripping.
Here's Glover over to the sideline. Wants to run it. Breaks one tackle. And finally is lassoed and goes down at the 22. A 42-yard punt. And he lost 11 yards on the return. Tackled by John Curry on special teams.
Gus, I want to go back to that play because it was tough to see it in real time. But on that long yardage 3rd down, you cannot just reach out and trip the runner like that. Utah gets away with a tripping. That would have been an automatic 1st down for Texas Tech. A clear miss there. And now Utah sitting here with the football.
10-3 our score. First opportunity for Utah to start this 2nd half. They'll start from their own 25. Nakari Rogers in the backfield. Rogers pinballing. And he goes down. Wisniewski with the tackle, a gain of 2.
Well, watch Lee Hunter, number 2. Here's Lee Hunter in the middle. He's allowing no push in the middle of this. They're trying to double team him. He's going nowhere. The running back runs right into his back. That's why Tech has been able to stop the run. Number 2, 330 pounds, transfer from UCF. He's playing a whale of a game in the interior. Gus, it's not always against a stat sheet or the tackles that you make. It's what you do at the line of scrimmage.
They feel Lee Hunter could be a 1st-round pick. Dampier, that ball deflected as he rolled out of the pocket. And it looks like Ben Roberts got a hand on it.
And remember, this was supposed to be an offensive line that could control the game. Kyle Whittingham's best in his history as the Utah coach, and they are just getting eaten up right now up front. And again, attacking the ball. That's the second time we've seen Ben Roberts get aggressive. That's a PBU. He had a forced fumble earlier.
18 NFL scouts at this game, and folks, they're looking at these offensive and defensive linemen for Tech and the Utes. Dampier.
Oh,
is that intercepted again? Yes, it is. Wow, Dante Balfour.
well, Balfour dives for this ball. Did he get his hands underneath it before? No, that one's going to be incomplete. Ill-advised throw way behind the intended target, Dallin Bentley. But Balfour, certainly that one hit the ground. They don't need to go to replay. They should expedite this right away. That's clearly incomplete.
Balfour transferred from.
Why are they going to replay? Please expedite this.
Previous play of an interception is under review.
Goodness gracious.
Balfour, a North Carolina transfer.
He's been really good for them. Transferred in from Charlotte, Gus. Last year he had, well, over his career at Charlotte, had 103 tackles, 3 interceptions in 23 games. Before Charlotte, he was at North Carolina.
After review, the ruling on the field is an incomplete pass. It'll be 4th and 8 at the 27-yard line.
Let's just let us expedite.
There you go.
We could just throw it down. Just throw the call down.
That's it. Energy in this game, though, has been unreal.
Incredible.
For a 10-3 game.
This building is on fire.
That would have been the 6th turnover for these two teams. Orion Phillips will send it away at the 12. Tristan Gentry, the deep man. Fair caught at the 21. 52-yard punt. Utah here at Rice Eccles. First down and 10 at the 21. Pressure, and Hammond gets out of the pocket, avoids a loss, and picks up 4. Jonathan Hall with the tackle. Landon Barton with pressure.
Well, the young quarterback coming in here to replace Baron Morton, who was injured on that last series, and they bring pressure right away. It's a good call by Morgan Scally, and you know he's going to be more aggressive now with the young quarterback in. Hammond, redshirt freshman, did start the bowl game against Arkansas last year when Morton had that shoulder surgery.
Second down and 6 at the 25. Jacoby Williams in the backfield. And they'll give it to him straight ahead. Bouncing, trying to fight, and he'll gain a yard. Trey Reynolds, Nate Ritchie combining.
Well, now where does this offense go? You know, do you have the confidence in Hammond to throw the ball down the field, or does it go into that run pass option, screen game, everything moving laterally type of game? And again, the crowd noise just making it really difficult on this Tech team.
3rd and 5. Empty set. Hammond looks, throws. Oh, what a catch at the 45. Caleb Douglas does it again.
This is a sensational catch, and it takes an insane amount of courage to do what Caleb Douglas does right here, extend himself over the middle and reach out for that ball.
First down at the 44, and they'll run it with Williams. And Williams stopped by Jonathan Hall after a gain of 3.
And Douglas has really been their best offensive weapon. He and Jacoby Williams, the running back, number 20.
2nd and 7. Hammond drops it off in the flats. Terrence Carter. And Carter crosses into Utah territory before being stopped by Jackson Benny after a 3-yard gain. Third down and 4 at midfield. Jacoby Williams in motion. He'll drop it off in the flats to Carter, and Carter lost it. Jonathan Hall once again on the play. A loss of 3.
Rolling on the field as the runner was down. Prior to the ball coming loose, it'll be 4th down. In the continuing immediate action, number 23 recovered the ball. 4th down.
That's a great read by Jonathan Hall. He has been flying around. Had the hit on Baron Morton on the last series. Makes a beautiful open field tackle there on Carter.
Jack Burgess from the 33. Rayshon Glover deep. Lets it go over his head. And downed at the 1-yard line. What a punt. Jack Burgess.
Okay, so Saban.
We'll see. 1st and 10 at the 1 for Utah. They need some room. Rodgers. And he'll get a little bit. Nice spin. And the pile pushed forward. They'll cross the 5 up to around the 7. A 6-yard gain. All right, let's answer. Here we go.
I would say Nick Saban, probably Dabo, and who's the other one? Brian Kelly.
Brian Kelly. And Kirk Ferentz isn't on there. I was wrong. Wow.
Do I get my dollar back?
We're betting reviews, brother.
I see.
I'm up 1-0. Near side throw. Incomplete. Ryan Davis, the target. Dante Balfour again. We've been mentioning his name all day.
Yeah, we sure have. Almost had that interception on the last series. And here, it's a good ball, but the coverage is just so much better. And there's just no threat down the field on this second level for Texas Tech. The linebackers and secondary are able to play so free, and that's because the defensive line is owning the line of scrimmage. They have beaten this Utah offensive line all day long.
3rd down and 4th to 7. Quick strike, far side, and another loss. J.J. Buchanan with the reception. Bryce Pollock took him down instantly.
Look at all these eyes out here on these guys. There's just no threat deep. They put their foot in the ground. They immediately are back toward the line of scrimmage. Bryce Pollock, he's there to make the stop. That's not fooling anybody. There's no threat down the field. I understand they're backed up to their own end zone, but Shieldwood, the defensive coordinator, has put together an incredible plan. And more importantly, these players have played sensational ball on the defensive side.
Orion Phillips deep in his own end zone. Tech with a chance to get great field position, and they will. They'll start from midfield after
they wound up as interceptions, and that's how they've been stopping this Tech offense.
But terrific field position for the Red Raiders to start this drive. And on 1st down, they find Reggie Virgil. Virgil fighting for extra yards before finally being knocked down by Nate Ritchie.
Well, and after a nice gain on 1st down, now you've got 2nd and short in an area of the field that Texas Tech loves to try to take a shot. They'll go quick here, try to get somebody matched up.
Gain of 8. Here's a handoff. Williams breaks it back and looks like he has the 1st.
Even with a backup quarterback, I wouldn't be surprised if they try to get one down the field. Again, the tough part of that is that the coverage has been excellent from these corners and defensive backs.
1st down at the 40. Hammond gives it up. Williams. And he scoots through the hole before being taken down by Levani Damuni after 5-yard gain. Second and 5. Williams again. Keeps his legs churning. He gains 3. Damuni once again with the tackle, along with Fano.
How about this run game coming to life? Not with huge plays, but long enough runs to keep them on schedule. Create a 3rd and short. Here they'll go with the bigger back now as Cameron Dickey checks into the game.
Dickey, 5'10", 215, sophomore from Austin. 3rd and 2 at the 32. And it's Hammond running, picks up the 1st. Oh, flag on the play.
It's going to be their 8th false start.
Prior to the snap, false start. Number 79, offense, 5-yard penalty, 3rd down.
I mean, this is the definition of insanity here. They continue to do the same thing and expect a different result. They cannot hear the clap. They've got to go to a silent cadence or they're going to continue to rack up these false start penalties. That's crazy.
13th penalty of the game for Texas Tech.
Tackle is moving on the clap. Everyone is. The center can't hear. Again, you can't use an audible thing, whether it's cadence from the sound of his voice or the clap.
3rd and 7 at the 37. Hammond looks backside. Finds his target, Dickey, but he is ridden out of bounds quickly by Nate Ritchie. And that'll be a loss of 2. Let's check in with Jenny.
Well, Gus, Baron Morton has just been ruled out for the remainder of the game. No specifics on what he's dealing with. But with Will Hammond in the mix, it's important to note that he really was a top prospect for this team in 2024. He's a Texas guy from Austin. He turned down big teams like Oregon, Tennessee, Texas A&M. This group believes in him as the future with this team for this quarterback. And, of course, a big loss without Baron Morton for the rest of this one.
All right, Jenny, where the future is right now for Will Hammond. Jack Burgess punting. Glover lets it go over his head. And the ball will be down to around the 5. At the 9. Dampier gets through the hole, gains 4.
So, Gus, before that punt, they were within range. Remember, Harrington hit that 58-yarder earlier in the game for Texas Tech. They were within. It would have been about a 57-yard field goal. I think Joey McGuire, though, was thinking to himself, listen, the way my defense is playing, there's no way Utah's going to score going 91 yards. So let's pin them back and rely on that defense versus giving them half a field if they miss.
2nd down and 6. Far side, caught Parker, and he'll pick up a 1st down. Wayshawn Parker gains 9.
So Utah's offense has got to adjust here because what their game plan has not been working, and they haven't allowed Dampier to really be involved in the run game. So on 1st down, what'd you see? Quarterback run. They got him going, and then they can get the ball on the perimeter to the tight end on those little play action fakes and letting him half roll and get outside of the pocket.
Remember, he came in here with a lower body injury. 1st and 10 at the 22. Dampier running it.
Tell you what, man, that defensive line, Gus, they're just not getting pushed around. Great job by Romello Height right there. They tried to pull around number 9. Watch him come from his position and impact these pullers. Okay, so here comes the guard, and watch him. He goes, lowers the shoulder, and he just puts him right back into the backfield. It's exactly what you do on the end of the line scrimmage. Doesn't mean you have to make the tackle. You have to impact the play.
They call that force, right?
That's exactly right.
2nd and 8 at the 24. Dampier underneath. And this reception made by J.J. Buchanan will gain another 4. So right now the Utah offense dinking and just dropping it off. 3rd down, 4 at the 28. Dampier steps up, throws. Oh, he had a wide open receiver. Wow. Tobias Merriweather was open.
They're going to lose him in coverage right here. So he gets knocked into his own guy, and then all of a sudden he's wide open. But Dampier throws it over his outside shoulder. He was looking that more up the field and just out of his reach, and Utah cannot connect.
Orion Phillips again. He's had a busy day. Tristan Gentry back deep. 6th punt coming up for Utah. Gentry. Oh, he is level as soon as he touches the football. Luca Caldarella.
That's some beautiful special teams play right there. That drive started inside their own 10, and they're able to flip the field. Not even gaining a bunch of yards on offense, but with their punt team What a tackle, and now Tech will start deep in their own territory.
2:03 to play. Third quarter. Conference opener for these two teams. From the 14. Hammond in for Morton. Hands it off to Dickey. Tries to get outside. And he'll pick up a couple.
They're trying to lean on the run game right now and bring this young quarterback along. Not exposing him to that rush like you saw in the first couple of snaps. Morgan Scalley, the defensive coordinator for Utah, historically very aggressive and loves to bring pressure, in particular against young quarterbacks. And I'm sure he's itching to bring some pressure here on the next few downs.
2nd and 8 at the 16-yard line. Will Hammond underneath. Whoa. Folks, there's been some serious wood getting laid in this game. Reggie Virgil caught it by Lander Barton.
Woo. That takes some courage to catch that ball and hold on. Wow. Woo.
3rd down and 3 at the 21. Hammond off his back foot. Oh, beautiful throw and catch. Reggie Virgil got that foot down, and it's a first down. Red Raiders gain of 19.
Yeah, this is a beautiful route. From the outside, he presses in, and then he goes back to the corner. The ball is thrown on time, but he reaches back just over that inside shoulder. Look at the strong hands. Nate Ritchie trying to go up and punch it out.
First down at the 40. Dickey. Nothing. And that'll take us most likely to the end of the third quarter. John Henry Daly, Nate Ritchie with the tackle on that play.
Group there, what was the message about finishing out this game?
Yeah, one of our plans to win is to win the fourth quarter. You know, if we win the fourth quarter, then we're going to win this game. You know, we're in this spot right now that's 10-3 because of us. You know, we got 8 procedure penalties. We got to clean up. We got to be clean in the fourth quarter to win this game. But we're up. We got the football. We got to go put some points on the board.
Thank you, Coach.
Thank you.
Right out of Central Casting, Joel Klein.
West Texas, baby.
Oh, my goodness. I love it.
That's so good.
2nd and 10 at the 40. Hammond in for Baron Morton. Hammond lets it go down the sideline. Woo! Incomplete. He put that one on the money for Caleb Douglas. Just couldn't hold on. But a good throw. Hammond 7 for 8. His first incompletion.
And that's about as good as you can throw it. Boy, if it hits your hands as a wide receiver, we've seen Caleb Douglas make tougher catches than that today. He's going to want that one back for sure.
Third down and 10. Will Hammond, the freshman from Austin. Hammond uncorks again, same area, and it is caught around the 25.
Those last 2 deep balls, you can't throw any better. And if at first you don't succeed, then try again. Right back to Douglas. It was perfect, Gus. Outside shoulder over the arm of Jackson Binney. Douglas, all he's got to do is put his hands out, and it's in the basket.
33-yard gain. Will Hammond coming in, making some plays. 1st and 10 of the 27. Dickey outside, high stepping, and goes out of bounds inside the 20. About a 7, maybe 8-yard gain. Nate Ritchie ushering him out of bounds.
Starting to wonder how much gas in the tank this Utah defense has left. Coach talked about them getting tired in the second quarter. They're starting to get a little tired on this series.
2nd down and 1. Dickey, first down. And more. He'll get to the 11. Ritchie again defensively. for Utah.
And here's what's so difficult is you'll notice Tech doesn't substitute Gus. They keep their 11 on the field, which has the threat of going fast tempo. So it's hard to substitute as a defense, and a lot of these guys have been on the field for the entire series. Slow pass rush, hands on hips, and some tired defensive backs.
Some huffing and puffing now for the Utes on D. First down and 10 at the 12. Hammond guns it sideline. Nice throw out of bounds. And they say incomplete. Reggie Virgil. Looks like he couldn't get his foot in bounds. But he's got a whip, Joel Klatt.
Well, I'll tell you this, man, if you put on the uniform at Texas Tech and you're on the depth chart at quarterback, it tells me one thing. You can spin it. And it's been like that forever. And Hammond certainly can. He's thrown a couple of beautiful passes so far on this series.
Second and 10 at the 12.
Is under further review.
Take a look at that last play. Make sure that Virgil was out of bounds after gaining control of that out route. Perfectly thrown. Virgil just might lose his spatial awareness a little bit, and he doesn't quite know where, but which foot comes down first? If it's the right foot actually hits the turf first, don't you think?
I'm going to say that's incomplete.
Oh, man, that is tough.
Want some action on that?
Hold on. Let me see this.
No.
Hold on.
Come on, make a decision.
Hold on. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah, I got you. I got action. $1.
Bet.
That's a catch.
Okay, I'm up 1-0.
You see that control. So first go to control.
You might be right here. Mike Pereira, are you with us?
Anytime you guys start betting $1, I'm out. I'm out. You know, this is so close. Is that toe down? You know, to me, he sticks control. That's the one thing. So if that toe is down, which it looks like it is, then that would certainly make it a catch. But it is really close.
Well, now we got the same dynamic where Mike and I are on one side, Gus is on the other, and now I don't feel comfortable about it. That's down, right?
It's down. I think you're right.
After review, ruling on the field is upheld. Incomplete pass.
2-0. Mike, what are we doing? Mike, what happened?
Mess with me.
Joel, I mean, I'll never go. Well, I used to say I'll never go against you, but.
Oh, man.
Mike, you should go with a winner. Second and 10 at the 12-yard line. Will Howard putting in yeoman's work. Hammond. Here he runs the ball and gets to the 5. Cash Dillon with the tackle.
Well, now you got to watch out for those pick and rub routes. Joey McGuire knows that Utah loves man coverage. It's what they hang their hat on. Morgan Scalley lives and dies by man coverage. So you got 3 receivers down here to the bottom. Watch out for them to pick for each other and try to get one of these guys wide open down here below.
Third down and 5 at the 7. Dickey in the backfield. Hammond in the corner, wide open. Incomplete. Terrence Carter was open, but that ball thrown behind him.
Leverage was just off. It's exactly what I'm talking about. You're going to get here and you're going to get here. The crossing, the pick plays, the defense loses itself, lose their footing, but the ball is just on the wrong shoulder. We saw a similar throw earlier from Utah. Devin Dampier just couldn't find his wide receiver, and Hammond here just the wrong leverage. Ball's got to go to his upfield shoulder, and it didn't.
So Stone Harrington comes in to attempt a 25-yarder. Good already from 58. And good again.
Third on a show defensively here, 13-3.
My question is, what's the name of the whale from Pacific Life? I mean, Willie had a name. Orca had a name. What's a Pacific Life whale's name, Joe? You read this promo every week.
I do. Last week you got me dying. We had the whale jumping out of Lake Michigan.
That's right. Man. So here we go, folks. Devin Dampier. Offense struggle for Utah today. He needs to make something happen. 13-3. This Texas Tech defense has been electric. Utah with only 171 yards in total offense. Dampier steps up. Nice throw and catch. Bentley still moving. And he'll go down deep inside Texas Tech territory. Devin, the dude, making a play. Gain of 52.
Tell you, the hands from Dallin Bentley flash him. Look at that one's down by his backside knee, and he's able to go back down, get it, and then turn upfield and show off some wheels.
First down at the 31. And they'll hand it off straight ahead. Wayshawn Parker. Gain of 3.
Well, just from a confidence standpoint, after a play like that to get this series started, now you've got to go kitchen sink. What do I mean by that? Well, if I'm the play caller right now, Jason Beck, my best stuff has got to come out. Trick plays, misdirection plays, because we've got to put this ball into the end zone to gain some confidence on offense.
2nd and 7 at the 28. Play fake, Dampier out wide, and it's caught by Ryan Davis, who's chopped down quickly by Bryce Pollock. But it's a 5-yard gain.
Their best series in the first half was the last series when they got some of those completions on the outside. That's where they've actually had some room to go.
And the handoff, Parker. First down, Utah.
Tech not making it easy, but they're able to move the chains there, get a fresh set of downs. And again, Gus, watch out for something in the next few snaps. Misdirection, reverse, double pass, something along those lines.
1st and 10 at the 21. Dampier looking, throws it up, and out of bounds. Bentley again, the tight end, the target.
That's really good coverage from Cole Wisniewski. The transfer from North Dakota State comes in as a senior. He had 194 tackles as an FCS first-team All-American in his career at North Dakota State. Look, he just never bit on that first pump, and he's right there in coverage.
2nd and 10 at the 21. Dampier underneath, incomplete, no flag. Yes, that should be interference. Wisniewski may have gotten there a little early.
Tight ends coming across the middle. Does he make contact?
Pass interference, number 5. Defense, spot foul, automatic first down.
Wisniewski doesn't believe so, but he did make contact through the back of the wide receiver, preventing him from making an opportunity to make that catch.
Wisniewski, a big dude, 6'4", 220. First down and 10 at the 14.
But he can run for as big as he is.
Dampier guns it underneath, caught, close to a first down. Ryan Davis again. Utah cobbling together a drive. Gain of 9. They've got to pay it off. They'll go quickly. 2nd and 1 at the 5. Handoff, Parker, touchdown, Utah. And the Utes are right back in this game. Listen to this crowd. Love this place.
Look at the right side of this offensive line. There's Spencer Fano first on the defensive end, then up to the linebacker. That's why they think he's maybe a top 10 pick in next year's NFL draft.
Dylan Curtis for the extra point. 3-point ball game, folks. 10-20
and 1 in one-score games.
Curtis sends it off. And this one goes into the end zone for a touchback.
PM on their body clock. East Coast time. That's going to be difficult for the Spartans.
First down to 10 of the 25 now. For Will Hammond, in for Baron Morton, who went out with an injury. Hammond has done well. Quarterback run here. And he's got to get down. Oh, what a move. Hurdling. Breaks it back and then goes down. Nicely done. 32-yard run.
Showing some serious moves right there. Hammond on the designed quarterback draw, and he's getting away from the linebacker right there at the line of scrimmage. He was free. Virgil with a block, and then Hammond is able to get down once he crosses the 50.
First down and 10 at the 43. Hammond starting to relax and find himself. Coming off the bench. Handoff, Williams. And he'll be lucky to get back to the line of scrimmage, maybe a half-yard gain.
Well, I'll tell you, that last series, I'll tell you what it proved to me, is that Hammond is just as much a gunslinger as Baron Morton, and Mac Leftwich, the offensive coordinator, will continue to be aggressive on the outside. In that last series, it was to Caleb Douglas. Had a couple of beautiful deep ball throws down the field. Douglas is on the far side.
Hammond threw for 8,700 yards and 84 touchdowns in his prep career. Second down and 10 at the 43. Had offers from Oregon, Penn State, among others. Hammond on the move. Oh, he whipped it in there. Down inside the 25 is Corey Aiken. Willie the whip. What a throw. Gain of 19.
And just over the outstretched arm of number 23, Jackson Benny. Benny is trying to tip that ball, but too much velocity from Hammond. And he's able to get it in there to Coy Aiken. Aiken is Baron Morton's best friend, trusted receiver on the outside, but making a huge play for the backup.
For their starter, Baron Morton. And he has found himself. First down at the 24. And wide open. Touchdown! Terrence Carter Jr. Willie the Whip does it again. Looking like Johnny Unitas off the bench.
Well, they're going to fake the screen pass out to the outside. It looks like he's going to block, and then he takes off down the field. They do this as well as anybody in the country. And Mac Leftwich, the offensive coordinator, dials it up at the exact right time. The motion out there, it gets the eyes of the defense, worried about the running back, and then the tight end, Terrence Carter, can fake the block and take off down on a wheel route.
Will Hammond led the state of Texas as a senior with 3,900 yards. 4 plays covering 75 yards. And the big run by Hammond on the drive as Tech answers Utah's touchdown.
And last spring was so big for Will Hammond. He comes in off the bench and he's 10 of 13 for 124 yards working with this first string offense. And you think, man, he's got great chemistry with these guys. Well, he took all the first team reps in spring because Baron Morton was recovering from a shoulder surgery. Those reps are huge. And you can see the love that he's getting on the sideline. These guys knowing that he can play, and I know that that's why they had confidence to put the game in his hand. Let him throw the ball down the field. And then a beautiful play call right there for a touchdown.
20-10, Tech. $8:29 to go, fourth quarter. Let's check in with Jen.
Well, as expected, after that touchdown for Utah, it really was electric from the sideline. Coach Whittingham immediately going to the O-line, telling them that's what we need. Keep it up. Remember, Gus, he told us yesterday he really believes this is the best O-line he has ever had at Utah. They're starting to show it in the fourth quarter, but can they build on it right here?
Well, they're going to need to, and they're probably going to need to do it fairly quickly.
First down at the 25. Dampier sprints out. On the move. Complete. Ryan Davis turns it up. Gains 4.
You know, this is not an offense that's built to go fast or throw the ball down the field. But when they did go fast at the end of the first half, they were able to get themselves down the field, piece it together, and get a field goal. I think that's the same tempo they've got to have now.
2nd and 6 at the 29. Rodgers. Not a lot. This time it's John Curry. sophomore from Lubbock.
And they're just flying around from everywhere. Curry comes in from his star position, kind of a strong safety style position here for Sheil Wood, the defensive coordinator. And Curry from Lubbock, Gus, like you said, you know he loves being a Red Raider.
3rd and 6. Incomplete. Man, Utah's got to punt it away. Looks like Gil Howard got in the backfield.
He is so active up there at tackle, forcing double teams. They're double teaming him, and he still gets his hands up. And by the way, if he doesn't, you can look at Jacob Rodriguez, number 10. I think Rodriguez thought to himself, I've got a pick in my hands if that one wasn't batted down.
Big fella got a paw on it. So Orion Phillips back deep. Gentry. Phillips pops this one high in the air. Gentry comes up and fields it at the 32. A 40-yard punt. 7:28 to go. Tech with the lead and the ball. Willie the Whip.
How about the confidence they have in this kid? Going with the quarterback draw on that first snap of the last series. He gets him across the 50-yard line. Beautiful on the run. Outstretched arm of Jackson Benny. Can't get it, can't tip it. Then they dial up that little double move with a nice pump on the outside. And he finds the tight end. And Terrence Carter is into the end zone. Joey McGuire. I tell you, there's something different about this Tech team, folks. Yes, they've invested. There's no doubt. But there's a level of belief, physicality, and confidence that really is unmatched as far as a Tech team that I've covered.
1st and 10 at the 32. They'll hand it off to Dickey. And Dickey gets to the 40. Henry Daly with the tackle, a gain of 7.
When you put an offense that can do what Tech's offense is doing, and listen, Utah's a terrific defense. I think this Utah defense is easily one of the 10-12 best defenses in all of college football. So yeah, you know, have they lit it up on offense? No, but now with Tech, it's not just offense. You don't have to score 35 points because you got a defense, Gus, that's playing physical, and they are so good.
2nd and 3 at the 39. Quarterback run again. 1st down. Will Hammond. Gain of 8.
And this is what we're used to seeing from Utah, right? Up a couple of scores late in the game. The opposition knows that you want to run the football. You have to run the football. Keep this clock moving, shorten the game. And then they're still able to do it. Big credit up front to these offensive linemen. Few of them transfers themselves. Sampson, left tackle. Wilson, the center. Carter, the right guard. Ponton, the right tackle. They've been really good up front.
1st down to the 47. Both teams with all 3 timeouts left. Tech in no rush now. Play fake. Hammond guns it underneath. Another completion. 1st down. Texas Tech. Reggie Virgil. A gain of 14. This kid, something else, Joel.
Yeah, how accurate was that off of the run pass option fake? So he has the play fake in the backfield. He's reading the linebackers. Look at that. Boom. Right on the frame. Gus, you hear me say every single week, in breaking routes, you've got to throw that ball where? On the frame of the wide receiver. And that one was framed up perfectly.
1st down at the 39-yard line. 5:28 and counting. Will Hammond. Play fake. And he'll run it again. I'm just nervous about these Texas Tech quarterbacks not getting down, Joel.
Well, he can't get down on there because that's a power. But, man, I hear you. Wow. And when your backup's in the game and your starter has already been ruled out, you know, certainly it's cause to hold your breath a little bit over there if you're Joey McGuire, the head coach, and as he called a CEO over there.
2nd down and 5 at the 34.
You think the coach is saying, hey, do we really want to get him hitting him?
That's what I was thinking. Joey McGuire, more than anything, wants to win this game. Hammond hands it off. Dickey. And he runs into a pile. No gain.
And Kyle Whittingham, understanding that down 2 possessions, he's fighting the clock here. So he's going to take a timeout here, his first of the half, with a chance to get off the field here on 3rd down. stop the clock, give themselves a bit of a chance. Tech, by the way, in field goal range.
Texas Tech, after this game, they'll have a bye week, and then they're at Houston. For Utah, after this game, they travel to Morgantown to take on the Mountaineers of West Virginia. And then they have a bye week after the West Virginia game.
Just an observation about Tech. They have more depth. And I'm not talking about personnel. I'm talking about like offensive answers than we've seen in a long time. They've always thrown it around and scored a lot of points. But how about this series, Gus? Keeping it on the ground, winning on the line of scrimmage. I think that from an offensive perspective, they can throw it deep, they can throw it short, they can run the football. Very difficult offense to stop.
Third down and 5 of the 34 of Utah for Texas Tech. Aiken in motion. Hammond. Another first down completion. Terrence Carter Jr. again.
And again, that ball is thrown on the money. He has not missed today. Maybe the one to Carter in the end zone that went on with the wrong shoulder. Again, inside breaking route. Where's the ball? On the frame. Maybe a touch behind him. But Carter is able to make the adjustment, get back there, and get that catch in front of Teo Johnson.
Hammond is 11 of 14, 133 yards passing and a touchdown. He's rushed 6 times for 54 yards. If they win this game, game ball is coming for Hammond. Dickey keeps going. Outside. Sideline. Touchdown. Texas Tech. Cameron Dickey. 24 yards. Back breaker.
He's wrapped up by a couple of different Utah players. And he's able to wiggle out. Logan Fano right there. And then Nate Ritchie, number 6. Both have their hands on him, but he keeps his legs going. Spins out of it and runs for a touchdown.
Cameron Dickey, his 5th rushing touchdown of the season. Had 17 carries for 77 yards and a touchdown against Oregon State last week. He scored a rushing touchdown in each game this season. How about this, folks?
I mean, it looks like he's got nowhere to go. He's all wrapped up in it. Boom! There he is. He's out. He's making a move, and he's down the sideline for a touchdown. I am so impressed. Kyle Whittingham has got to be devastated over there because for the first time in a long time, he's seeing a team right now that has taken it to his team physically here late. Again, Gus, you know Tech has got to run the football there. And they were able to do so on that drive. Again, the depth of this offense. This is different than the Texas Tech we've known for years and years and years. This is a really good football team. I think this is, I tell you, Gus, I think this might be a top 10 team.
Yep, I would agree with you 100%. And they are rolling. .341 to play in the 4th. Nobody thought this would be the outcome. 27-10.
Gus, check out the rushing yardage. Tech has now doubled them up. We're talking about Utah. Utah came in rushing the ball for 290 yards per game, 6 a carry. Top 10 in the country running the football. And Texas Tech has run the ball for 166 yards to Utah's 83. That is wild.
First down, Dampier. Nobody home. Utah came into this game 3.5-point favorites. Our man Dave Portnoy had on a Utah shirt, but he picked Texas Tech. I saw that. He took the points.
Yeah, he did. Yeah, he did.
2nd and 10 to the 25. And Bentley.
I'll tell you, man, this is
good football.
It's a good football team, and these two teams, I still think Utah is a very good football team. They're going to be tough to beat in the Big 12. In a lot of ways, we've seen Iowa State. I think these are the 2 best teams in the Big 12, all due respect to Matt Campbell's Iowa State team. But this is a clear and resounding message to the rest of the Big 12 Conference.
3rd down and 8. Dampier in trouble, and he's sacked. David Bailey gets to him. Bailey, Hunter, Gil Howard, Romello Height. Folks, maybe one of the best front fours in all of college football.
And people just don't expect it because of the decal on the side of the helmet. But they've got top 3 resources at Texas Tech. This is, I think, very close to a top 10 team, if not absolutely a top 10 team.
4th down and 23. Dampier just lets it fly and intercepted on the far side. Wow. Dominant effort today.
Holding number 55. Offense, penalties declined, result play, interception, 1st down, Texas Tech.
Jacob Rodriguez with that interception.
How fitting is that? The captain, Jacob Rodriguez, in front of his wife, Emma.
With one hand.
That's right. He said, listen,
baby, look at me.
I can fly too.
That's right. That's what's up. And I love the stash. There she is,
there
Emma.
She is. Emma, thank you for your service. Emma is an active duty Black Hawk helicopter pilot for the U.S. military and a West Point graduate, Gus.
And they run the football with Hammond. He just gets down.
Tom Rinaldi ran a great piece about Jacob and his wife, Emma. She's stationed at Fort Riley in Kansas. Actually had her flight canceled last night and had to drive all the way into Kansas City to catch a really early flight out of Kansas City to get here today to see her husband get that game-sealing interception. That's very cool. And again, Emma, thank you for your service, and all of you who serve our great country. Thank you so much for what you do.
27-10, 2:27 to go.
Look at them. They're locked in, too, over there. Sheil Wood, he's the defensive coordinator. He's the one holding the tablet. I mean, they're up 27-10, 2:27 level. Like this, you know, Gus. They're icing this one away, and yet they're locked in on the tablet.
Locked in.
And that's what Joey McGuire told us yesterday, right?
Yep.
He said that this group, even though this is a collection of transfers, guys like Jacob Rodriguez and Baron Morton who have been here, they still own the team, and everybody else has come alongside, and they are now Red Raiders.
2nd and 7. Hammond turns the corner, runs out of bounds. But you can't say enough, as we talked about the D-line, but you can't say enough about this young man. Kirk Cignetti's 2nd year, magical 1st season, coming from James Madison for Indiana. Brett Bielema building. Great program in Champaign. Hammond will throw it up top again. Now they're showing off. Touchdown, Reggie Virgil. Wow.
Gus, I'm going to give you one guess as to how well that ball was thrown.
Tell me.
Perfect.
Ooh.
I mean, perfect. You can't place it out there better. Will Hammond dropping absolute dimes right on top of the face mask of the wide receiver. I'm like, that's the note you take when the play is installed. All right, back shoulder, drop it right on the face mask of the wide receiver so he can go up and high point it and turn away from the defender. Got it, coach. He wrote it down and then dropped it on the field.
Willie the Whip. Will Hammond. He's got an arm on him, folks, and some touch as well. 6'2". 210. Hammond, 21 unanswered points in the 4th quarter. He'll finish 13 of 16, 169 yards, 2 touchdowns, no interceptions, with a long of 33 yards. And he rushed 8 times for 61 yards with a long of 32. Courageous effort by this young man.
And they just wore out. That's his coordinator, Mac Leftwich, that he was just hugging right there. They just wore him out. Utah wore down. It was a relentless attack. by this passing game, regardless of who was in. Will Hammond comes in. Didn't bat an eye.
Joey McGuire, the old ball coach, folks. He did it at the high school level, doing it at the college level now.
And by the way, they are unabashed in their confidence in what their purpose is this year. They have said, listen, we didn't make this investment to just go have a 10-win season. No, no, no. If we don't win the Big 12, I'm going to feel like a failure. That's what their GM said. That's what Joey McGuire has alluded to. They invested in this program to be great. Not to be flashy, but to be great.
New quarterback in for Utah, Bird Ficklin. Had a big game against Cal Poly 2 weeks ago, completing all 4 of his passes for 53 yards and a rushing touchdown.
This is what their GM Blanchard has said. You look around, and he said, we have top 3 resources in the country. There is no reason for failure. If we don't get to the Big 12 championship game, I'm going to feel like I've failed.
Here's Ficklin running. And he'll pick up a first down. So this is what the standings will look like in the Big 12 Conference.
Iowa State and Texas Tech up there. Obviously, there's a lot of good teams. By the way, TCU is closing out a win currently over SMU. They were down and came back. That game is now final, so TCU is right up there. They're a really good team.
Rogers.
But this feels like a statement.
Yes.
Coming in this building.
Absolutely.
And handling this Utah team.
Against a great offensive line and a rugged defense.
Yeah. And they handled both of those for the most part.
With the backup quarterback in the game in the second half. And Rogers.
That'll probably do it here. I don't think Utah is going to snap it again. Maybe they will. That looks like they'll snap it one more time.
Final play of the game. Rogers running straight ahead, and that should do it. How about this, folks? Texas Tech not only comes into Salt Lake and wins, they kind of thumped them 34-10. The final from Rice-Eccles Stadium. Joey McGuire, Coach Witt will embrace. First win against a first win in ranked matchup since 2008 when they beat number 2 Texas and Oklahoma State. And our Jenny is down on the field with Coach McGuire.
Coach, congratulations, first of all. Texas Tech, a defensive team today. What statement overall was made from your crew?
We are a defensive team. These guys take a lot of pride in what they do. Coach Wood and his staff on that side of the ball is doing a great job. And, you know, before we talked about taking the ball away, and if we get 3 takeaways, we'll win the game. We got 4 today, and we needed all 4 of them. We needed all 4 of them.
You just said it, best coach in the nation. I know expectations for this team are very high, and you lose your starting quarterback, but Will Hammond comes in, 2 touchdowns, he gets it done. How impressed were you?
Yeah, really impressed. And, you know, Will had to do it last year at TCU, and we gave up a late lead, and then, you know, he played in the bowl game. But the one thing we say all the time is the standard's a standard. If you're going to wear the double T and you're going to step on this football field, you play at Red Raider speed.
What a standard today. Thank you.
Yes, thank you so much.
All right, Jenny, the final score here in Salt Lake City. Texas Tech 34, Utah 10.